Well, it's definitely what's your level of commitment, and unfortunately, most people they've had a certain kind of lifestyle for a long time, and that's a comfortable place for them to be, even though it's has a lot of negative impacts on them. The pain to change those lifestyle habits is more, at least in their mind, it's the pain of changing is worse than the pleasure that they would get from changing those lifestyle habits. And I think the real reason is that people don't put enough thought into setting goals and really getting clear on what it is that they're after. If you don't have a goal, you are fumbling around in the dark. You will never reach your destination. It's like trying to drive from Seattle to Los Angeles and not having a map. You just really never know where you're going. So the first step is definitely setting a goal, and the second and even more it's as important step is writing down your vision. You have to get really clear with the goal. Not just, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, but you got to get a firm vision in your head of what that's going to be like. I get to go shopping for new clothes. Whatever it is that motivates you to get to that goal, and start writing down every detail that you can about it. My waist is going to be, now it's 36 and I want it to be 33. And I'm going to go shopping for some new clothes, and I'm going to be able to do more of the things that I want to do. Whatever it is that drives you, whatever it is that motivates you, or whatever it is that excites you, write down as many details about that as you can and get really, really clear with what that's going to be like. Nothing tastes as good as being thin feels. So that's the key, though, is you got to get a vision for it. You got to picture it in your mind becoming reality, and then visualize what your life's going to be like when you get there, and write that down. And people never do that. If you spend a couple minutes a day, just writing down more and more details about what it's going to be like when you get there, and how cool that's going to be, and what you're going to be able to do, and how excited you can get about that, the more and more you reinforce it that way, the more and more likely you are going to be to actually achieve that goal. Obviously, if you are sick, if you're already sick, obviously sick, and you have high blood sugar or high blood pressure or whatever, you don't have any energy, don't feel well, all that stuff, that stuff can change. I have patients every day that can't do the things that they want to do. And I find it's amazing to me when most of my patients, or a lot of my patients, start care. They're so messed up that they can't, a lot of them can't walk around the block, basically, because they're in so much pain. And, it's amazing to me, once we get them out of pain, they start just kind of naturally becoming more active and more able to do things, and they start losing weight. It's amazing. I've had many patients talk to me about that over the years. They're like, man, after I started chiropractic, I started losing weight, and I don't know that it's necessarily from the adjustments that they're losing weight. I think we got them their body functioning better, so they were able to do more things, be more active, and do the things that they want to do. So they just kind of naturally started burning more calories and dropped some weight. But whatever it is, whatever your health challenge is, vision. If you think about that, the long-term outcome of that, if you do nothing, doing nothing is what's going to happen. Is that situation is most likely going to progress and get worse. So sitting there and doing nothing is going to be bad, and most people, they try to ignore it, or try to cover it up with drugs or whatever. And, you got to face up to the fact that doing nothing is not going to work out most of the time. And so you got to start small, set some goals, write down your vision, and start moving towards, the vision that you want, instead of just letting, just let things atrophy. because that's what happens if you do nothing. Things atrophy. You have to stick with it, and a lot of people, unfortunately, pain is a huge motivator, and most people don't do anything until they're in pain or have a really bad lab report or some kind of obvious, palpable problem. And many times I see patients fail when they start to get a little bit better, they start to feel okay, and start to think, oh, okay, I'm better now, and I can just go back to my old crappy lifestyle, but I'll still be okay somehow. If you go back to that same old crappy lifestyle and quit doing the things that got you better in the first place, it's not going to be long before you're right back where you started. So you have to make a commitment that this is a lifelong process, and that's the part where most people fail. They think that it's just a temporary thing. I can just do this for a little while and I'll feel better. And while that might be true, you might feel better for a little while. If you go back to your old lifestyle and your old behaviors, you're going to end up right back where you started, or worse in many cases. And that's unfortunate. So you have to really make a commitment to make a lifestyle change, and it's got to be a lifelong process. And I know nobody wants to hear that, and it's not popular because a lot of people, at least by nature, are kind of lazy, and they don't want to make a commitment to anything that's going to last for the rest of their life. And that's a kind of a scary proposition. But like I said, if you start out with small changes, just little changes, and you keep doing those, it'll get easier and easier as you progress up the ladder.